South Africa's growing anti-foreigner tensions have now reached a stage many analysts once feared could happen if the crisis remained unresolved. Reports emerging from different communities suggest that the hostility is no longer limited to isolated street attacks or business looting. It is now reportedly spreading into schools, neighborhoods, and daily social interactions. The question many Africans are now asking is this: how did Africa's most industrialized economy reach this point? Like, share, and subscribe to AfriPlus News channel for more updates.
700 school kids just sent Kraaifontein into a state of chaos in what experts are calling a xenophobic attack on foreign nationals. On Wednesday, students who were in full uniform staged what seems to be an anti-immigrant protest where they were seen stoning vehicles down the streets and looting and vandalizing the stores of immigrant shop owners, demanding for immigrants to leave their schools and their country. The protest action is said to have started at Masibambane Secondary School before spreading to other schools in the area, which joined in before SAPS was deployed and the students were escorted back to their respective schools. However, in the aftermath of this incident, there have been growing discussions around why exactly it is children are getting involved with the growing anti-immigrant sentiment across the country. We wanted to find out whether or not this was a result of the growing anti-immigrant rhetoric in the country, and so we reached out to an expert who broke this down for us.
I think that one of the things we need to be really aware of is that a lot of the current mobilization, the current kind of vigilantism, the anti-foreigner, xenophobic sentiments we're hearing, a lot of that is taking place on social media. And a lot of these movements have very slick social media campaigns. We know that the social media campaigns are capturing adults, so there's no reason to suggest we know how engaged in social media that younger people are, school learners.
So basically, it's those damn phones. But aside from this, Associate Professor Joe Vierny also called out the lack of action from government as an added factor in all of this.
We're not seeing government or public figures calling out this kind of mobilization. So in a way, it's being normalized. It's not being challenged. We're seeing an absence of the state.
Many community members have called out the looting and vandalism which took place on Wednesday, whilst others have urged parents to not allow children to get involved in what they call adult disputes. On the other hand, the schools that were involved have said that identified students will face disciplinary action, and the immigrant vendors who were targeted have said that they now fear setting up shop, and others have decided to close shop for good.
South Africa may now be facing the beginning of something far more dangerous than isolated xenophobic violence. What started as attacks against foreign nationals inside South Africa is now beginning to trigger retaliation from other African countries themselves. The question many analysts are now asking is this: could xenophobia inside South Africa evolve into a continental diplomatic and economic crisis?
5,000 South African trucks, 5,000 South African truck drivers, 4,000 South African companies because of Mozambique. I'm at the border between Mozambique and South Africa today. And all these trucks that you see here, more than 5,000 South African trucks, are preparing to enter Mozambique. They're going to Maputo to use the Maputo port to export South African minerals coming from Phalaborwa. And I know what's the question. Why all these trucks are not going to the Durban port, Gqeberha port, or Cape Town port? From Phalaborwa, it's only feasible to take it to Maputo, Mozambique. You cannot go to Cape Town, you cannot go to Gqeberha, you cannot go to Durban. It's not feasible. So we need each other because our countries interlink. So we need to unite for the sake of trade and international relations. Sithi phansi nge-xenophobia, phansi nge-tribalism, phansi nge-Afrophobia. Those who seek to divide us as Africans want to kill 5,000 South African jobs. Bafuna wonke lama truck wese South Africa awu 5,000 ukuthi apake angakwazi nokubhadala ama installment because ba selfish lobo bantu labo. And one thing for sure, guys, people are too hypnotized. I think it's important. I need to mention this. I'm one of the limited few South Africans that I'm blowing my own horn today, managed to convince the Mozambican youth to not close down this border. Because if we close down this border today, or if they close it down today, hayi bafana bam, nizobaqasha bonke labo driver abo 5,000 nina mazenefobia. Nizobaqasha bonke labantu abo 5,000 labo. Nizobaqasha labantu abo 5,000. There's no special tribe in South Africa. Don't get it twisted. All South African tribes and cultures are very important to our rainbow nation. People are too hypnotized into believing that there's one special tribe in South Africa, will not be intimidated by one tribe in South Africa, will not be dictated. All South African tribes are important. So, danko madoda.
Mozambique has risen to the challenge, blocking more than 5,000 lorries to South Africa. Now, Africans are refusing to cooperate with South Africa. They're refusing to do business with South Africa. And actually, even tourism has plummeted as Africans are refusing anything to do with South Africa. Now, South Africans, not all of them, of course, but there's an arrogance about black people in South Africa. I think because they haven't traveled to other areas in Africa, they think South Africa is the bee's knees. It's not. And actually, they don't even have access to the areas that are bee's knees. They don't have access to that. So other Africans have decided enough is enough. We're not going to put up with your xenophobia. You continue with the self-hate because it's self-hate. Because if you hate other black people, it's literally the definition of self-hate. Okay? So, but Mozambique, you are doing the Lord's work.
Reports circulating across southern Africa indicate that tensions between South Africa and some neighboring countries are rising following renewed anti-foreigner hostility inside South Africa. According to reports and viral footage shared online, Mozambican youth allegedly blocked thousands of South African trucks from moving through parts of Mozambique in what many observers are calling a retaliatory response to the treatment of foreign nationals in South Africa. At the same time, Ghana has reportedly evacuated hundreds of its citizens from South Africa, while discussions surrounding pressure against certain South African-linked business interests in Ghana are now attracting attention across West Africa.
What is going on? Hey, these South Africans, honestly, you guys do not have shame at this point, because what is this that I am saying? You guys want to sue Ghana over them rejecting to renew the gold field in their country. How do you guys even come up with this audacity? Because you guys said that you don't want anybody in your country. Go home. I'm very sure that this company that has been in Ghana for years can replicate what they are doing in Ghana. Take your company back home. John Mahama, he said no, he doesn't want to see you guys. Tell your president, Cyril Ramaphosa, to open that same company in South Africa, or tell those people to move back to South Africa and start employing your people. Is that not what people have been crying about? No job, no job, no job. Job has come. Ghana have said you people should go home. After all, they have been evacuating their own people. 300 people every week. 300 people every week. 300 Ghanaians are going back weekly. South Africa do the same. Take your people, take your company that has been impoverishing the people of Ghana, especially the people of that region. Use your Google it. Those people are suffering. The people from that region, your company that has been working there, that has been there, have not been employing them. When I said what goes around comes around, you guys think it's a joke. Some of you will still be in the comment section. I did not profit anything. You are taking food from the mouths of your citizens. You are taking opportunities from them. You are insisting you do not need other African countries. So you must go back home. Please follow for more. Remember to like, share, and follow for more. I'll see you on my next one. Bye.
South Africans are yet to learn the saying, never bite more than you can chew. On the 28th of May, the Ghanaian government evacuated the first group of Ghanaians from South Africa. A plane carrying about 300 citizens arrived in Accra, Ghana from South Africa. Now, it is said that about 800 Ghanaians actually applied to be evacuated, and so many other planes will bring in other people eventually. Now, apparently, there are about 25,000 Ghanaians in South Africa. And because of the xenophobic attacks and the March-to-March group, which has given illegal foreigners up to the 30th of June to leave South Africa, these people have opted to ask their governments to help them out. Now, the tricky part is this. After Ghana airlifting its citizens, some South Africans are saying that they overreacted. Even Julius Malema himself has said these guys in Ghana have overreacted. The situation is not as bad. The lady who was leading the xenophobic attacks, she's called Jacinta. She said, come on guys, this is not what I meant. If you do airlift your people from South Africa, you make it look like the place is ungovernable and it is a war scene right now that people cannot survive. If you look at South Africa, the streets are empty in Johannesburg. There is no way South Africans were going to schools and taking out children. They were going to hospitals and taking out children. And they thought that that will not damage their reputation. Things are going from bad to worse. Because in Mozambique, they just blocked 1,000 or 5,000. Anyways, they just blocked a number of trucks that are supposed to go to South Africa, and they say there's no entry for South African goods. At the same time, in Ghana, they have refused to renew any mining contracts for South African companies. So what do you guys think about this? The 30th June deadline is coming in close.
This has raised major questions about whether frustration against xenophobic violence is now beginning to move beyond social outrage into economic and diplomatic retaliation. However, this is where the situation becomes more complex. South Africa is one of Africa's biggest economic powers and also one of the continent's most interconnected trade hubs. Major transport routes linking southern Africa pass through or depend heavily on South African infrastructure, ports, and logistics systems. Thousands of trucks move across borders every week, carrying fuel, food, mining equipment, industrial materials, and commercial goods.
One of the biggest mining company in Ghana happens to be a South African company. And presently, they are asking Ghanaian government for a renewal of partnership in Ghana. Do you know what Ghanaian government did? They said no. That they are not going to do what? They're not going to renew it. That they should go back to their country and mine gold in their country. That they want to now take charge of the mining of the gold in their country to benefit the people of Ghana. Same news came out that Namibia border has been blocked for all South African trucks. All aircrafts leading to South Africa has been stopped. These are countries that values their citizens. They are African countries, so they value what? Their citizens. But Nigeria, my country, even the president has not made a press statement addressing the issues bordering or surrounding the attack on Nigerians in South Africa. What they're after is 2027 election. All of them. One of our biggest telecommunication company in Nigeria is owned by South Africans. Let's start from there. Let's leave other ones. Let's start from there. Let's see MTN, just like Alex Oshomole said. Adams Oshomole came out and said we should privatize MTN. Let's privatize MTN. All the South African in the MTN, they should go back to South Africa. Let's privatize, let's make it a Nigerian company. Nigerians there are not going to lose their jobs, but Nigeria is going to manage it. They are busy in South Africa chastising all African nationals, all in the name that they want to build their country. They want to chase away the illegal immigrants. What of the legal immigrants in their country, in the country? If actions are not taken, the South African government will not see it as anything. Because for the past how many months, people have been calling on the government of South Africa to look into what the South African citizens are doing to other African nationals in their country. But they kept quiet simply because indirectly they are fueling and supporting them to do whatever they want to do to the other African nationals. But if other African governments started putting bounty, putting measures, restrictions on what concerns the South African government, they will sit up. Now, after what South Africa, Ghana did by, taking back their citizens and stopping the renewal of contract between the biggest gold miners in Ghana, now South African government are beginning to act. The same Jacinta that orchestrated the whole thing, they are now saying that most of the people that came out to support her, that she doesn't know them. She's running from media to try to defend herself and excuse herself from whatever that is happening. And the reason why South Africa is doing that is because they know that other African countries are going to follow suit very soon.
The country played an important symbolic role during and after apartheid, receiving support from many African nations during its liberation struggle. Because of that history, many Africans feel emotionally hurt whenever anti-foreigner violence emerges inside South Africa. Some analysts argue that the emotional reaction from other African countries is not only about economics or migration, it is also about perceived betrayal of Pan-African ideals. Many Africans remember that neighboring countries sheltered South African freedom fighters during apartheid. That historical memory makes modern xenophobic tensions particularly sensitive. But another factor is emerging. Social media is now amplifying every incident instantly. Graphic videos, emotional testimonies, and viral narratives spread across the continent within minutes. In many cases, outrage online escalates faster than governments can respond diplomatically. This creates pressure on African leaders to appear strong in defending their citizens abroad. The danger is that retaliatory public anger against South Africans living or traveling in other African countries could begin to rise if tensions continue unchecked. Some analysts fear this could gradually damage trade relationships, tourism, regional movement, and continental integration efforts under initiatives like the African Continental Free Trade Area. So the question becomes, can Africa truly achieve continental unity if ordinary Africans increasingly view each other as economic enemies? Another overlooked issue is political silence. Critics argue that South African authorities sometimes react too slowly during xenophobic crises. Others say the government faces an extremely difficult balancing act because aggressive crackdowns could create domestic political backlash among frustrated citizens already angry about unemployment and crime.
The foreigners that you have, whatever jobs that they are doing, do not fall under the critical skill list, right? So, and you have employed them. As an employer, you see, you want people to respect your business. You don't want people to come and do as they please. But you as an employer who is operating in our markets, we've given you as South Africa an opportunity to come and operate in our markets. Your duty and responsibility is to empower our people. If you've got bad apples that comes and works for you, get rid of them. I think each and every company goes through such. which it's a norm. Even in Zimbabwe, there are people that are killing people. There are people that are working. So that is something that you cannot avoid. Yeah. But we cannot have a situation where you are saying you come from Zimbabwe, you've got a company in South Africa, you still want to also give back to your community. Your community, if you want to give it back, have a company in Zimbabwe, operate a company in Zimbabwe.
Can I respond to you, ma'am?
Yes.
I explained to you my situation first of all, so that maybe I can correct you.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I'm in Pondo if I go by my father's side. Right? I'm in Debele if I go by my mother's side.
Yes.
So maybe let's take away that thing that maybe I'm not patriotic enough.
Yes.
I am 100%. I love this country. I've been in this country for 28 years of my life. Right? So it cannot be that I'm empowering Zimbabweans. Those are people that started the business here with the company. We've had so many people. We've ran through maybe 100 employees. At our peak, we had 36 people working for us.
Yes, right? But employers transfer skill.
No, I understand. I'm just saying that the reason why these ladies that I have, right, have been gone. Remember, I don't know how the law explains it, but they've got work permits. So with their work permits, they are renewed every now and then. Okay. And when they renew, we'll use our company staff, and Home Affairs still renews it. So I don't know then, is it a problem of Home Affairs not checking why they are renewing the stuff or not?
So I'm not sure if you are up to date with the current affairs, but you are aware that the SA government, most African leaders have collapsed this continent because they don't want to follow the law to the T. We are governed by the constitution, but the SA government, out of because of the historical relations that they have got with Zimbabwe, they gave Zimbabweans ZEPs, which is an unlawful act. We don't have a law or clause in the constitution that guides us, that permits SA government to do what they're doing. That's why we are constantly let me finish. No, let me finish so that you understand where I'm coming from. We don't have any law. A duty of the government is to follow the constitutional guidelines. The constitutional guidelines, we don't have any clause under the constitution that say give a general work permit to foreign nationals. Okay. The Employment Services Act, section 8, it says jobs must be given to South Africans first, unless it has been proved beyond reasonable doubt that a South African was not available for appointment. We are currently sitting at the highest unemployment rate. No employer can argue and say, no, we can't find South Africans that can do the jobs. Our people are here, even now they are waiting outside because they are unemployed. Right? But what we are saying as an employer, to avoid this, because we don't want, you see now you could have sent emails, you could have called your other business partners and closed deals while we are waiting here, wasting 15 minutes to 20 minutes here explaining ourselves.
We're not wasting,
right?
It's good that
right? No, but I'm saying it was not necessary if you are following the laws to the T. But it's not necessary.
The thing is, you cannot also blame me for using a loophole the government put in. The government in its own document, even in its own court document against certain parties that have come up against this, one using the same constitution, because they are the ones who put it. I cannot fight the government and say, why did you guys allow ZEPs? I cannot. It is not my problem. It is the government side of
yes, but now
they've allowed it and they've put it as a law. They can't put something as a law and pass it in parliament if it's not lawful, if it's not in the constitution.
So you've got no.
I'm coming in.
It's a bill.
So the ZEP is a bill.
It's created. No. It's created outside. I'm saying to you, it's created outside the constitution. And you are right when you say you can't argue with the government and say, but when now it's affecting you. See those people that have been allowed in. We are dealing with them on a daily basis on the ground, and it looks unfair because they come and say, but your government has allowed you. We the citizens, see, in Africa, most African countries don't follow the laws. In South Africa, our constitution gives us a right. Chapter 5, section 90 says, in the absence of government, we are allowed as citizens or civilians to come and question the wrong that government is doing, or employers. Yes, we are born now when Manje, you don't have a leg to stand on because you are saying government has allowed you, but the same government, it's incorrect. The same government, Manje, is not here to protect you. We are saying this is the law. They are currently in court. They are unable to answer. They are expecting people now to share reasons as to why the ZEP must be discontinued because they acted outside the law. And once you do that, you are in the wrong. Luena, now you are operating like the government. They did wrong. You are following their footsteps.
Am I following? Am I doing wrong or am I doing
Brian, your name is Brian,
Yes.
yes. Brian,
Bongani,
yes. Now, in my understanding, when you operate in any market, in any country,
Yes.
first thing that you do is familiarizing yourself with the laws. Uguti, does the law allow me to do 1, 2, 3? So that you don't come back and say, now I just did this because and I was allowed for 20 years or 30 years. It's not going to help you. Yes, the employers that operate here have to comply. Government is no, we are dealing with them decisively, and you guys are not protected.
Eventually, when this is dealt with, it has to come into law.
Yes.
Because
No, the law has always been there.
implement something that is not on a government gazetted side to say, okay, listen, we gave these people ZDPs and ZDPs are illegal. I cannot, if you go to mines, right? I work supply food everywhere. If you go to mines, government allowed Mozambicans, there's plenty of Mozambican people who've been working in mines for 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yes, that's why it's coming back to bite them. Because they
then
acted outside the law.
Then as a business owner, it cannot be my fault that the government passed the law that I'm following, and because currently right now I can say to them, listen, I'm following your law.
No, but you have never, because hence I'm saying,
You want to come in and talk here? Yes. Okay, let me open for you since what a voice. No, but the thing is, I'm speaking to your leaders, and then there's someone who's entering.
No, man. No, man.
So that's what I'm explaining, that I cannot then go and say, no, I'm going to fire my people when the government allows them. The government allows
hence I'm saying, earlier on mentioned, are you now operating? See, hence I'm saying, if when you were aware of what the law requires, you were not going to just do what you did now by employing us. And then if you started the company with them, you will know in each and every market that you operate, you have to transfer skill. Those are the laws in South Africa. But how are you transferring skills when you have got those people working for you for 18 years? Are they transferring skills, or they are now residents?
Listen,
because the same people are going to.
I've had these people for maybe the one who hasn't been here for long is 10 years.
Yeah.
But I've had the longest one at 18.
Yeah.
Right. And I've got South Africans that have been here. I still have South Africans I have a South African that I started with. Well, we started working together when I was still working. Yeah. So there have been people who came in, there have been people who've left. So it's not a thing of that we are not transferring. Skills are being transferred. Just maybe it's not how people want it to be. I cannot take out, I work with pastry, right? And pastry is not a okay, let's just mix dough and that's pastry. No. I work with pastries. We are one of the only companies in South Africa that manufacture filo pastry. There's only 3 companies in the whole of SADC region that manufacture filo pastry. Right? Yes. I cannot give that to anyone. Right? I've got people who have been here since the filo machine landed. The first filo machine landed in 2012. It's 2014 we got our filo machine. Those are pastries that every day you have to make sure that these people know what they are doing, and those are my people who know. Sorry?
I also make filo pastry.
You make filo pastry?
Yes,
from home?
My pies from home.
No, but filo is not for pies. You make puff pastry. Puff pastry is easy.
Filo pastry.
Filo, the thin pastry. But you can't use it for pies.
There's a lot of our people.
But I'm saying that I cannot.
They can do this. Because I know people that can do this.
Nah, like I said, there's 3 machines that can do it in South Africa. Okay. Right? We can.
Okay.
In short, yes. I don't want us to dwell, on one thing, because we don't have time.
Okay.
How can you help us? Because we've got these kids outside.
Yeah.
And we need to avoid that, because these kids, if they are loose, they don't have anything to do. They will go and sniff and smoke all these, drugs. So we don't want that thing. So how can you help us?
So I've got a girl who approached me the other day. She stays here, and I have to, and I'm not going to lie to you, even in front of them. I'm going to pick and choose, right? Because like I said, I've lived here more than maybe most of you have known these people. Like I live with them. I spend more time here than I spend with my family, right? So I will not just take anyone. I don't want to lie to you, right? When I have space, right, I will take. And I've told her, I'll take people, but I will not just take anyone. They will come here, they will complain. We
want to take responsibility.
Yes.
How many vacancies do we have currently?
I don't, at the moment I don't. Like I'm telling you that there are days where I've been working full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we do this? Out of the community,
Yes.
when you elect one person,
Yes.
maybe let's say by Monday,
Yeah.
they can come and hand deliver CVs to you.
Okay.
When you have a vacancy, at least you already have the database of the community around. And since when you know the community very well, right? After you've called them, if you see that, okay, these are the people that I could take for an interview or for whatever, then you can do that.
Yeah. No, listen, I know most of them. Like I said,
Supporters of the government argue that authorities cannot control every local outbreak instantly, and that many South Africans themselves oppose xenophobic violence. However, critics counter that repeated cycles of violence without long-term solutions create the perception that perpetrators are rarely held fully accountable. That perception alone can deepen fear among migrant communities. This is where the geopolitical implications begin to grow. South Africa is not just another African country economically. It is one of the continent's largest financial hubs, a major member of BRICS, and an influential regional power. Any prolonged instability tied to xenophobic unrest could affect investor confidence, tourism, regional diplomacy, and labor mobility across southern Africa. What is often overlooked is that many sectors of the South African economy also depend on migrant labor and regional trade networks. Migrants are not only consumers, they are also employers, workers, taxpayers, and participants in local economies. If fear forces large numbers of foreign entrepreneurs or workers to leave, some communities could face economic disruptions of their own. And another critical question emerges. Who truly benefits when Africans turn against other Africans while economic inequality continues to rise? If current trends continue, several possible scenarios could emerge. One possible outcome could be stronger diplomatic pressure from African governments demanding more protection for their citizens living in South Africa. This could include bilateral negotiations, security agreements, or coordinated African Union discussions. Another possibility is that South African authorities increase visible law enforcement actions against mob violence and criminal attacks in order to reassure foreign governments and stabilize international perception. However, there is also a worst-case scenario analysts fear. If retaliatory sentiment spreads across multiple African countries, isolated attacks against South Africans abroad, or economic retaliation measures could begin appearing more frequently. That could damage regional unity at a time when Africa is trying to strengthen continental cooperation in trade, infrastructure, and security. The realistic outcome may depend on whether leaders across Africa can separate legitimate economic frustrations from dangerous ethnic or national hostility. It may also depend on whether long-term youth unemployment, inequality, and governance challenges are addressed seriously rather than politically weaponized. Because at the center of this crisis is a deeper issue, many Africans are quietly asking themselves, why are ordinary Africans fighting one another, while many of the continent's biggest structural problems remain unresolved? South Africa's xenophobia debate is no longer just a South African issue. It has become a continental conversation about migration, economic survival, identity, leadership, and the future of Pan-Africanism itself. And perhaps the biggest question of all is this. If African unity collapses at the street level between ordinary people, can political speeches alone ever rebuild it? Like, subscribe, and share this analysis if you found it valuable. You can also support the channel through membership or super thanks to help us continue producing in-depth African geopolitical analysis. This analysis is based on publicly available information and does not claim absolute certainty. Viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research and engage respectfully.